So today I'm gonna teach you guys how to wax your skis. What's a quick and easy way to wax your skis? That being said, let's get into the video.
Hi, Danny.
Sick. Yes, Danny.
Don't got no reason to lie. They give me the key to the sky.
Alright, so to start, what do you need to wax your skis? What are the items you need to do this? You're gonna need to get yourself a waxing iron. This is the one I use. This is an old one from my dad. Super old school looking. Still's got heat adjustments. Works beautifully. Honestly, a super sick rig of an iron. You're gonna need some ski vices. Specifically ski vices. Do not use a metal wood vise or anything of this sort. These will break your skis very quickly. Ski vices, on the other hand, are padded up here, you can see, and in the vise here, so that they're softer on your skis. So only use ski vices for this. These are very much worth the investment. They make it so much easier to wax your skis and such a better experience. Obviously, you're gonna need some wax. This is just super basic wax. I've got a little collection over here. This is the hard stuff. This is my harder wax. This green stuff for colder weathers. This red stuff here is for medium weathers. Yeah, generally I will just go with the softest wax for 98% of most applications, unless it's really, really cold out. You're gonna need some scrapers. Here's a plastic scraper. Personally, I really like to use a metal scraper. I find them a little bit more efficient. You need to know what you're doing when you use a metal scraper though, because you can hurt your ski. You can do damage to your ski with a metal scraper. So if you're just starting off, I would highly recommend using a plastic scraper. They're a little bit more forgiving. But once you get a little bit more experience, the metal scrapers I find do a lot better job more efficiently. You're gonna need a little brush like so. This is just a brush to clean up your base, open up the pores of your skis before you start waxing. And then you're going to need a finishing cloth kind of thing of sorts. This is a little bit textured. I don't fully know actually what to call this cloth, so if you know, comment down below, because they do a wonderful job of cleaning up the finish on the end of your wax. And you're gonna need something to tie back your brakes with. This one's an elastic of sorts made for it. This is one homemade string with loops I tied on the end. Made that one myself. Super sick homemade job. Honestly though, these ones work 10 times better. I highly recommend just getting a pair that actually works, because you'll see in a sec how much of a headache that actually is for me. So that being said, let's grab a pair of skis over here. Shout out to Kessley for supplying the skis for this video. I've been skiing on them for the last year or so. Yeah, for just over the last year. And they're an absolutely beautifully made ski. Really nice side cut, really nice stiffness. They are pretty durable, super light. I've really liked how they ski, the experience I've had with them so far. So let's get into waxing the skis. I have been waxing my skis now for I think about 15 years. I was just trying to do the math on it here. When I was younger, I used to wax my parents' skis, wax my whole family's skis before going out skiing on family ski trips and stuff. But I learned how to wax my skis from my dad. He was a really, really good ski tech. He knew a lot about waxing skis. Back in the day, he used to do it for work. He used to work as a ski tech, but also he used to tune the national team's race skis for speed skiing. So I don't know if you guys know anything about speed skiing, but it's where you just go straight down the hill, and it's super gnarly, but very wax intensive. If you know anything about waxing, it can be very, very scientific. There's a lot of science behind waxes, when to use what waxes when, and just, yeah, how to wax your skis properly. So there's a lot of science out there on it. I like to keep it super simple, because I find if you make it super simple for yourself, it's something you can do consistently, you'll do more often, and that's a lot more important for the health of your skis, is just waxing them consistently versus all the little tiny details of this all. So that's what I try to do. I try to keep it simple and quick, and yeah, that way I can do it consistently. So that's kind of my theories on waxing skis. I don't get too scientific. Like I said, 90% of the time I just use this soft wax. Nothing crazy. Okay, so let's start with waxing our skis now. So we're gonna flip them over to start with and tie back our brakes. This is a super helpful step for just keeping your brakes out of the way when you're scraping. That way it's like you're stepping on your brakes. So yeah, to do this you just got to press up on your brakes here as if you're standing on them, and it'll bring them out of the way. Then you just tie them up so it will look like that. This one's gonna be too long, so I'm just gonna wrap it around the pivot once. Get it around there, boom. And then you can see this one's not quite high enough, not quite tied back enough, because you can see here, like no matter what, if I scrape, it's gonna catch here. I'm gonna have to do something about that when I get to that. So then the next step is we're gonna take the brush and we're just gonna go over our base just quick. I don't know if you guys know, but the base of your ski isn't just a flat plastic surface. It has little pores in it. So this really just helps clean up all those pores and gets them ready to absorb wax, is the idea behind it. It'll get rid of any excess wax from past times, any dirt, just from skiing on slush, skiing on bad snow, whatever it may be is in the snow, rails, all that sort of thing. So this will just help kind of clean up the base, get it ready for wax. Then we grab our wax, grab your iron. This one's been heating up. There is a heat adjustment, like I said, on these things. There's a little dial in here, but I just leave it maxed out all the time. You can change it depending on different stiffnesses of waxes, like firmer, harder waxes. You can have it hotter. But I just leave it maxed out all the time. The risk of that is if you leave it on your ski like this, you can burn your ski and melt your base, and it'll get rid of the pores, and then it will not ski very well at all. So when you have it maxed out like this, you really got to keep it moving. But in general, that's a good rule for waxing your skis. Never just leave your iron in one place for too long. You always want to keep it moving. So we're going to start off here. Just flip it upside down. Got this heat on, and then put the wax, start dripping it on. You don't have to do crazy amount. You don't want to do too much. You don't want to do too little, actually, because if you do too much, you're just going to melt it off here on this next step. So you just want to kind of give it one kind of solid line all the way through. I don't know if you guys can see that one line down the ski. Yeah, and then we're gonna go to the next step where we melt it in. So this is where I said you don't want to keep it in one spot for too long. Move it down the ski, but you want to spread out the wax. You do want to heat up the base, you just don't want to melt it, because when you heat up the base is when you let it interact with the wax, and that's what actually stays on your ski after you scrape it here for this next step. So you do want to heat up the base but not melt it. You can kind of see when the wax spreads here. I don't know if you can see that angle in this lighting, but you can see if it's like going over the whole ski, if you've got it spread out enough, and if it's covering everything, kind of thing. Nice. There's one ski. You'll see here I like to switch my skis like this, just to keep the ski that I'm working on in front of me. And then let's do it again. So you want to melt it evenly, heat up the base, but don't melt the base. Obviously, if there's a firmer wax, so for colder temperatures, you're gonna feel that you got to hold the iron and melt it in a little bit longer. This is why you don't want to use brake ties like this, because you could risking burning your finger. And then, yeah, so for colder temperatures, you're gonna notice you got to melt it in a little bit more, softer ones. Softer waxes. For warmer temperatures, it's going to be a little bit easier to melt in. So yeah, that's the iron part. Always when you're done with your iron, make sure that you unplug it. We don't want anybody to burn down their houses waxing their skis. It's a pretty bad way to burn down your house, let's be honest. So then switch skis again. That way you've got the ski you just waxed that's hottest on the other side, and the one that's had the most time to cool here. Racing, this is where they'll tend to leave their skis, let the wax set in, and still let it sit for like hours, overnight even. I don't even really know exactly how long they wait, but they'll wait at this stage for a bit. Personally, like I said, I like to be nice and quick and efficient, so this is kind of one step that I skip. I don't wait. Scraping the ski is you take your scraping the ski, take your scraper, and you're gonna put it at about a 45-degree angle to the ski, like so. Yeah, you don't want to be too steep because you won't get too much, and just kind of 45 degrees, nothing really too crazy. And you're just gonna run it down the ski, scraping off some wax, like so. Usually always start at the tip of the ski and go to the back. You always want to go in the direction of the snow that will travel. Once again, racers are pretty strict about how they wax their skis. Like, they will try to not lift the scraper at all, because you'll see every time you lift it there's kind of a little bit of a line. So they'll try to make it nice and smooth the whole way. Me personally, I'm not super strict on all that kind of stuff. I just think it's best to at least get wax on your ski and do this consistently for mogul skiing. You don't have to have the fastest skis in the world, so even just for recreational skiing, doesn't really matter. You can kind of see when wax stops coming up that there's a little bit less wax on there. And you see when wax comes up, you can see where there is a bit of wax. Like, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. You can also feel it. You can feel where wax is. It'll be a little bit stickier feeling. This is something that racers will not do. They will cringe at that. You do not want to touch your base after you've done that. But like I said, I tend to not care too much about this. Just get the wax on your skis. Now I'm going to scrape down the edges of my wax, because you'll see there's a little bit of overspill. If you have any extra wax, it'll pour over the sides when you melt it there. So you want to get rid of that, just so that... Oh, let's unplug the light quick. That's cool. So there'll be a little bit of overspill on the side of the edges. You want to get rid of that, so just hold your iron. Nope, hold your scraper 45 degrees to your edge and just kind of run it down your edge once. Do not go like this angle down the sharp side of your edge, but just like gently scrape this wax off the side here. You'll see there'll be a little bit, and then go to the other side. What am I catching on there? Some wax. You'll hear these edges are very not good. They're kind of busted. And now we're going to take our finishing cloth. I'm going to call this thing, I'm going to say it right now. That's what I'm going to call it for this task. And then we're just going to give it a quick once over, wiping off all the extra wax, all the loose bits. It also just, I find this helps clean up any imperfections in your scraping. It helps leave one smooth surface for when you're going skiing, which is what you're going for, obviously. Yeah, nice. I think that looks pretty good. So that's the one ski. That's how to wax your skis in a nutshell. You can put it off to the side now, and that one's good to go. So I'm going to do this other one. I'm going to take this brake strap off because it's really annoying. Change it for the good one so I don't have to lift it up while I'm scraping. Okay. Another little tech tip is make sure that you can put your ski jammed up against your toe piece in the vise. That way when you're scraping, pulling the ski this way, it'll be stuck. It doesn't matter if the ski can slide this way, because that's not the direction you're going to be scraping in. So I always try to set it up nice and snug like that so that it pulls. I don't actually brace it in here at all. It's not actually pinching anywhere, my ski. It's just sitting in it, but that way it has the traction where it needs to when you're scraping. So now let's get to scraping this one. Yeah, you can see like that when there's a lot of wax coming up. Obviously this ski I haven't scraped once yet, so there's going to be a lot of wax on it. There's a lot of wax that comes off in the curl kind of thing of the scraper. So I said earlier that that brush will help get out a bunch of the dirt. You'll see here I have a bunch of dirt in my ski, kind of, I'm assuming from a rail of sorts it looks like. So it won't get it all out. The brush, waxing it will get the dirt out of your skis. It cleans the base of your skis. It brings all that dirt to the surface, and that's kind of what you're scraping off here, is all the shit from your pores of your ski. So through, oh my god. So you will actually get the dirt out through waxing your skis more times. Just taking care of them more consistently will help with that, and will help get all the dirt and shit out of your base of your skis. So that's one really key thing for why waxing your skis is good. I'm gonna ask this question to myself here. How often do I wax my skis? When I was first starting out, I used to wax my skis before every single time I went skiing, in between times. Now I'm gonna say I've gone very far from that in recent years. I'm not nearly close to that level of amount of waxing my skis anymore. Now I'd say I try to do it once before each camp if I can, and then before any event, before any stretch of events also, I'll try to wax them. So that kind of ends up working out to be about once a month, maybe twice a month if I'm lucky. I'm not super strict on it because if you think about mogul skiing, this is quite a controversial theory, but if you think about mogul skiing, all of it is to do with speed management. So if you have more speed because you have the fast skis on the hill, it kind of means you're gonna have more speed you gotta ditch, which could mean you have to take a big move out of a ski line, out of your proper line, get your skis sideways, or do something not proper so that you can ditch your speed. So if you have a slower ski, in theory, maybe you could keep a straighter ski line. Maybe. Negligible effects, people say, but yeah. One part where waxing your skis will really benefit you in mogul skiing is jumping, especially in soft snow conditions. In soft snow conditions, if you have that sticky snow in the takeoff, it can really catch your feet and make it really hard to get consistent release of the feet off the end of the jump. So in that situation, like summer jumping is a great case. Springtime jumping, fresh snow, are all situations where waxing your skis helps make that speed out of the jump really consistent. So that's huge. Yeah, you'll see I've also got these blocks on each side just to kind of hold my other ski. They got a little foam on top. Super helpful. Once again, thank you to Kessley for providing the skis. These are the Mogul X 178. Great ski, really good mogul ski. I hope you guys learned how to wax your skis. If you guys have any questions, comment them down below. I'll be sure to get back and answer anything you guys have. Hopefully you guys learned something in that video. Hopefully you guys learned how to wax your skis. If you guys aren't already waxing your skis, hopefully I inspired you guys to go learn how to wax your skis and pick up a setup for doing your own tuning at home. It's super easy, super simple, and saves some money from going to get your skis tuned all the time. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Danny, 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 Danny.
Oh, double check. Always double check. Don't leave that hot. Don't burn the place down.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah, Danny.
Danny, let's go!
Danny Tanner Vlogs.